Everybody's got an opinion. Every Californian and Virginian. It's so hard to tell who to trust and who to ignore. Someone's gotta settle the score. Trey and Chelsey will help you choose whose views win, which ones lose. I'm haters are coming for you. Baby, it's time to review the review.
Hello.
Hi there. Welcome to Review That Review. This is episode 10 of the podcast dedicated to reviewing.
Reviews were just like Siskel and Ebert, only instead of reviewing cinematic masterpieces, we rate and review those hilarious, scathing, and sometimes suspicious online reviews.
Yep. That's Chelsey Donn.
And that's Trey Gerrald.
Or, in the words of friend of the pod, ham and cheese sandwich. That's Tracy and I'm Che. But regardless of what you call us individually, none of it really matters because together we are
the Review Queens.
How's that crown today, Tracy?
Well, Che, my crown is great today. I'm holding my crown high. How's your crown today?
My crown is good. You know, I had a really spectacular weekend away. My husband and I were celebrating. This is funny to me because I remember when we first started dating, I was a waiter and we would go away and celebrate months because it was like a huge step for us to like have quote unquote titles. So we were like consciously being together one day at a time. So we would celebrate monthly anniversaries, but I would need coverage every now and then. And the other waiters would be like, oh, it's the anniversary, thinking it was like years or something, not actual months. So then like everyone made fun of me after a while because they're like, wasn't your anniversary last month? Anyway, so we went away to Ogunquit, Maine, which is where we met 11 years ago. It was amazing. We stayed at this gorgeous Airbnb. We waited a little too long. So I don't know if you've been to Ogunquit, Maine, but it's really charming. You have?
I have not. No, not that area.
Oh, it's really cute and gorgeous. But you know, it's like a small little place. So a lot of the stuff was taken. And so we stumbled upon, we were the first people to stay in this gorgeous Airbnb in Wells, Maine, which is the town just above Ogunquit. And Ogunquit has like one through street and it's like it's a 2-lane street. So like northbound and southbound. So traffic can be really terrible. But we found this gorgeous Airbnb and I just want to give it a shout out because we were the first to stay there. It's the Quiet 3-bedroom beach cabin getaway. And the host is Samantha. It's in Wells, Maine. It was just the two of us and our 2 dogs, but this was the only option. And last minute, it was so perfect. Like it was this 3-bedroom, but it was a really small cabin. So it didn't feel like we were in this mansion. And they were just awesome hosts and really accommodated us. And they knew we were bringing our dogs. So they put out a little dog bowl, which was so cute.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It was really great. So it's great. I actually missed you a lot. I was telling David that this is like the first time I've wanted to return from a vacation because I am having so much fun doing this podcast and collaborating with you. So I'm so happy to be here. How are you, Chelsey? How was your week?
Oh my God. First of all, I missed you a lot too. I was like trying not to be a codependent and allow you to have your anniversary weekend. So I just want you to know it was a lot of effort, but I did miss you also. And yeah, I've had a good week. I just got a brand new puppy.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting and very exhausting in all of the ways. So I don't sleep anymore. Sleeping is just a thing of the past. So we're just going to have to let that go. But she's worth it because she's really cute.
And what is your puppy's name?
My puppy's name is Goldie. And maybe
we're cheering for Goldie.
We're cheering for Goldie. She's named after Goldie Hawn, but she's Goldie Donn. And
David asked me how you came up with the name Goldie, and I was like, I haven't asked actually.
Yeah, I'm like the biggest Goldie Hawn fan ever. Always like love her so much. In fact, my friends came over to meet Goldie, and we had to decide which Goldie Hawn movie we were going to watch.
What'd you
just
pick?
in Goldie's honor. We picked House Sitter. Have you seen that one?
No.
It's Goldie Hawn and Steve Martin.
Oh my
and
God.
it's not as, I guess, like it's not as mainstream, but it's just so fun, and I just love it so much. And she's just amazing in everything that she does. So she could do no wrong in my book. And Steve Martin, it's like Steve Martin at his best, like second to Father of the Bride for me.
Oh my God.
So it was fun. We enjoyed it. We had a great time. I think Goldie liked it. She didn't complain. So
Overboard
yeah,
was one of my favorite movies as a kid. We used to watch it relentlessly.
I know. Well, I was gonna see Overboard, but I had just seen it. But the two friends that came over had not seen Overboard. Can you believe it?
Really?
I mean, I just thought everybody had seen Overboard. Like, doesn't that just I mean, I was shocked. But I just saw it, and I was in the mood for House Sitter.
Well, now I want to watch House Sitter.
I recommend.
Well, congratulations on Goldie. I know that Goldie has
Thank
entered
you.
your time. I know that Goldie has entered your life in a very wonderful time, and we are very happy that Goldie is part of the crew of Review That Review.
Yes, she's the head of security, so she's going to keep an eye out for us. All right. Well, this is so great. I always love this part. But that being said, just to even the playing field, I think that we should probably.
Lodge a complaint.
That's right. Yeah, we should. Trey, do you have a complaint to lodge today?
Oh boy, do I ever.
Can't wait.
So I mentioned we went to Ogunquit, Maine, and Ogunquit historically was known as a safe haven for gay LGBTQ people and families. And so that is like always wonderful, and that still exists today. And there is this deconsecrated church. So
Okay.
that just means it was built as a Methodist church, and it was like,
And now it's a bingo hall?
well, it's been stripped of all of its holiness,
Right.
which is its own process because religion. And
like there's actually a process for that?
yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's similar to The Exorcist.
Before it becomes like a bowling alley or something, they have to remove all the holiness.
Exactly. All right. So
Okay.
this previous church is now a gift shop, and it's in the
Okay.
middle of town, and it's a 2-lane street, and the name, and they sell like it's so cute, but they sell like tchotchkes and home decor and blankets and things like that. And the name of the church, X Church Gift
Yeah.
Shop. Do you have any guesses what they've named it?
What they've named the gift shop?
Like if you were going to take an old church building, it has a huge clock tower. It's like a steeple. It's totally a church. What would you name it?
Holy Gifts.
Cute.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. So they have named it Revelations.
Okay.
Cute. That's a cute
Yeah.
name.
Got it. Yeah.
We were seated at a restaurant, which was across the street. So I kept staring at it. And it occurred to me, there's a huge missed opportunity here. This is like a gay friendly place. Everyone has gay flags everywhere. Why was it not called Leviticus?
Why?
Okay, you're Jewish, so that joke doesn't land
But
on
no,
you.
but Leviticus is the Old Testament. So like I know Leviticus roughly.
So Leviticus is like the one section of the Bible where people point to say that homosexuality is a sin, because it says that mankind should not lay with womankind as the man lays with mankind. Or man shall not lay with mankind as they do with womankind. Also famously, like the next verse is like, don't mix fabrics, don't touch pork skin,
Right.
football. So anyway,
But we ignore those because that's not important.
well, duh. Stuff. But I think that there's a huge opportunity that's been missed. That should be called Leviticus. I kept saying it over and over and over.
Leviticus.
Oh yeah, did I not pronunciate?
No, I don't know. I heard Leviticus, but Leviticus makes more
I think
sense.
Leviticus is such a better name because this is a gay area. And people that go to Ogunquit tend to look a certain way and wear a certain kind of clothing. So it's like they would go to Leviticus and they would get a nice shawl or like a nice rock that has an engraving in it. So anyway, my complaint this week is if I am ever going to frequent a gift shop and a gay-friendly vacation spot that is a deconsecrated church, I don't want its name to be anything other than Leviticus. Otherwise, you're wasting my pun and humor time. The end.
Well, I think at very least you should have given them the opportunity. Like, did you tell them that maybe they would be open to a rebrand?
Well, I really did think about that, and I've looked them up. They do have a website, revelationsgiftshop.com, and I'm gonna see if I can reach out to them. Oh, there's a whole contact form.
Yeah, I think you should reach out. At very least, like maybe they can do like a Leviticus event. Like, would that help?
Well, I did say to David, I think maybe like this should be my like hobby now. Like I should just go across the country and find churches that are no longer functioning, and then I can turn them into gift shops.
Yes.
But I don't think I'm really going to do
gay gift shops, which will definitely consecrate them.
Yeah. There's a church that was turned into a home in Key West, but that's like a house, so that I can't, because that's the perfect spot, like in Key West, or maybe in Fire Island if there's like an old church. I don't really know much about Fire Island, but I think Leviticus is perfect. Everyone, you could paint a side of the wall like that pink wall in LA where everyone wants to go and take pictures. It would be a whole thing. Anyway, that's my complaint. It's been lodged, and please, if you have a gift shop that's in an old church, please rename it Leviticus.
Yeah. And
how about you?
A little credit at the same time.
You don't even have to give me credit. I don't even need it. I just need that to be rectified in the world. Chelsey, what about you?
Okay.
What is your complaint for the week?
Okay, so my complaint is, like when you go on a website and they're like, you have to spend X number of dollars to get free shipping. Like, I hate you. I just feel manipulated because I think I always land just shy. Like I'll be like $2 short of the free shipping, right? And then I'm like, well, is it worth it for me to spend the like $6 for shipping, or like would I prefer that $6 in the form of an item? And now I have to scour your site for like an $8 item in order to really make this math work out. And then I'm probably going to get something that I don't need. And I just think, why can't we just give free shipping? Like, I don't know. I don't like free shipping minimums. I feel like they're manipulative. I think they're doing it on purpose. And I don't know. Just stop it with this. Do you have this problem? Like when you're like $1 away?
I've noticed it with just minimums, like when you're getting food delivery, like takeout.
Exactly.
It happens a lot where it's like, I have noticed many times that it will be like, you'll always be like $1 to 75 cents off. And the cheapest thing is like a side of rice or like a side of broccoli. And that's always like going to put you up like $5. Like, I do think that someone is being strategic about that.
Yeah, it's definitely strategic. Also, like, I wish that they could keep track in a day. Like I have a new puppy. So I'll go on chewy.com and they'll have minimums. And I'll go on and like, I'll buy a few items. So I'll get the free shipping. And then I'll be like, oh, I forgot to get something. So then I want to just order that one thing, but I can't because I have to fill up my cart. And I just feel like I've already invested in this like business. You could put it all in the same box. Why? I'm lodging a complaint.
Complaint heard.
Thank you.
And I've fallen, that is such a like common occurrence complaint. Like I have felt the same frustrations before. So I appreciate you voicing it.
Well, thank you. I feel better now that I got that off my chest.
I think I feel okay. I feel like maybe I could have like spelled out Levitic gifts stronger. But regardless, let's just move into some written online complaints. How do you feel about that?
I feel great about that. As you guys already know, if you're listening to episode 10, we are your trusty review queens. We each bring in a review from the internet that we feel needs to be inspected.
We read you the review, we break it down, and then we rate the impact of the review on a scale from 1 to 5 crowns. It's a very regal process that we like to call
Assess that kvetch.
And kvetch means complaint.
Ugh, I'm kvelling, Trey. Your Yiddish, it gets better every week. Okay, who is first today?
You are my
I am.
gorgeous RQ.
Wow. Okay, I'm first. God, like I feel like my heart always starts to beat whenever I realize that I'm first, but
You know what? You don't have to have an increased heartbeat, because the worst that could happen is you could not set up the punchline of Leviticus and then it bombs. And then you know what? Then you take a breath. And who cares? We're here to have fun.
You're right. We are here for fun.
Review that review.
Okay, my review this week is from Google. It is a 1-star review of Mav Lash, Mav M-A-V Lash, not to put them on blast, but Mav Lash in California. This review is written by Jody B. I've been debating writing this for hours, but every time I walk by the mirror, I'm almost in tears. I wanted to be kind, but I'm really disappointed in my entire experience. I did a lot of searching for what I wanted and who I should go to before booking my appointment, but I have to admit how wrong I was. My appointment was for a mixed set. I picked this because I have naturally decent length lashes, but wanted them to be a little fuller, but still more natural. A set I can roll out without needing to wear mascara and liner makeup every day. When I arrived, the tech called my name, but didn't introduce herself or anything. I told the receptionist and her that I've never had lashes before, and she asked to see some photos of what I wanted. The pics we looked at were from the Mav Lash Instagram. I pointed out what I liked, and she said, "So more natural," to which I agreed, and also pointed out a few that said, to which I agreed, and also pointed out a few that she said were cat eye angled. I told her I didn't want anything doll-eyed or too lush. I thought we were on the same page, and I paid down and she began. After about 2 hours, she finished, and I asked to use the restroom before checking out. Once in the bathroom, I took a glance in the mirror and was shocked. They were so long and looked like one of those dolls that eyes close when you lay it down and open when it's upright. Not at all the more natural but fuller look we chatted about or the photos we looked at. When I came out, I immediately told her. Her response was that she couldn't do anything about the length unless she took them off completely and put a new set on. I was devastated as I tried to ask what we could do. She offered to take some of the fullness out of one that was heavier than the other. I agreed to that, but honestly, didn't see much of a difference. At that point, I just wanted to leave. I was hungry and really upset, but trying to still be nice. I was hoping once I put on mascara on my lower lashes that it would offset everything. Now that I'm home, the mascara didn't help at all. So I washed my face and literally a quarter of them fell right out. I don't know if it's my face wash or what, since I was given no care instructions verbally or anything. I'm getting really irritated that I paid close to $200 for this. They look awful, and I'm at the point of just pulling them all off myself in the morning. Big disappointment, waste of my money, and very unhappy with how the tech handled it all. My tech was Jensine.
Is that the name, Jensine?
Yes. Gensine. Would you pronounce that another way?
No, I just didn't know if that was like a millennial term or something.
Oh, good clarification.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
Jody B.
Jody B.
Wait, have you ever had eyelash extensions?
Not like the kind of eyelash extensions like this that are meant to last a long time. I think for my sister's wedding, we did like the makeup artist did the little eyelashes and they were the nicer ones where you put them on one at a time, but I think they still were meant to be temporary. So nothing like this.
Right. Those are like little
Yeah.
wispies.
Yes.
Because I have
Exactly.
2 friends that have had like these long-term eyelash extensions put on.
Yeah.
And I know that at least with those 2 girls, it's commonplace that like it looks a little extreme at first. And then they
Oh.
do sort of like
Fall
I
off.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, I had that thought too. Like when she said a quarter of them fell off, like I wanted to be like, did it look better when a quarter of them fell off? Like, is it one of those things where it sort of sheds after a while and then it starts to look more natural? I honestly don't know. And neither does Jody.
I have a lot of thoughts here. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to me, like, I am a person that was blessed with very long and full eyelashes. My sister was
Yes.
not. So it's been a common conversation in our lives, like that it's so unfair. But if you, I guess like Jody B mentions that they have decent length eyelashes to begin with. So
Yeah.
then my question is, well, then why are you getting this service? I understand that there's like a middle ground, like you don't want to be a drag queen, but
Right.
like you want it to look more full and natural. But
Yeah.
but to me, I feel like that line is so specific to each individual that like it's very tough. And that just makes me stressed out for these like technicians because it's like you're gonna be dealing with a lot of opinions, and
Right.
that's a personal opinion, you know.
Everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one, as or Joe Kinosian beautifully wrote. But like, to me, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. That's so difficult to me because do you think that there's like a judgment snap that people might have if it looks like you have like giant false eyelashes on and you're like at CVS?
I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I'm less worried about the judgment snap because I figure it's just like if you want it, like you rock it, you rock it. I think I have like long-ish eyelashes. Like I don't particularly have a problem, but I think everybody looks better with a little mascara, and
Yes.
so I can understand saying like, oh, like it would be nice to have a little something extra and not have it be like a full glam look.
Yeah.
I guess the thing where I'm trusting Jody a little bit here is that it seems like she knew what she liked based on the fact that she showed examples. She pulled things specifically from their Instagram, like not like random Instagram. Like, here's an example of work that you have done in the past that I liked. And based on this work, that's why I'm here. And then the person said like, oh, okay, I get it. Like you want something more natural and
Not
seemed like not doll-like specifically, and maybe like a little bit of a cat eye angle, but like pretty natural. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, I feel for her because when I mean, this is a little bit of a non sequitur, but when I was a kid, I really wanted to get highlights because my sister was a blonde and she got highlights since she was younger. And I just was like, I want to do this thing. And so I begged my mom to let me get highlights when I was in middle school. And she begrudgingly agreed. And I got these red highlights. And then I went in the bathroom and they looked kind of like weird red purple to me. And I just remember being completely devastated, like that feeling of getting something done and then going to the bathroom and seeing it and then having that, like I felt for Jody B in that moment. Cause it's like, it's a weird thing. You're like, what do I do? Like, how do I manage this? Like, I am upset. And I think that, when you get services like that, you should be able to tell them that you're upset and you don't like it. I just wish that, they didn't show her a mirror along the way. Like, it just seems like in the 2-hour period that and again, I've never had this done, so I don't know how it works, but don't you, like, usually when you get your haircut or you get something, they're like, how are you liking it? Like, do you want it a little shorter? Do you want it a little longer? Like, why weren't they checking in with her?
I had that question too, because 2 hours is so long. And also
Yeah.
like, because I would think like to check in after one eye is complete and you're switching to the next. Like, how is this
Like at
appearing
that,
to you?
yeah, exactly. Like check in after one eye, and then it's like, oh, if we have to completely pivot, then we only have to take a set off of one eye. So
I would think that the technician is at fault for that.
yeah, I do.
Right.
Like, I think like the fact that she had to go to the bathroom to see what was happening, that's weird to me. Isn't it weird?
It is weird. Also, conversely, because I've also been in a situation where like now it's very trendy to have these crazy extreme fades for boys, like with the haircut. But that happened to be in college, and it was right after Rosie O'Donnell had come out, and she did that to her hair. And all I thought was, I look like Rosie O'Donnell, and it was like so upsetting. So I understand when you get something done that does not feel like you, and you have to face it. That is like very confronting and upsetting. So like, I'm not judging that, but to me, I feel like eyelashes are so much less severe than hair color or a haircut.
I mean, yes and no. Like, it's on your face. You know what I mean? Like,
eyes are the heart of the soul or whatever.
Yeah, like with a haircut, you could put a hat on, I guess, if worse comes to worse. Like,
right.
I guess
well, couldn't you put
sunglasses.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
I guess, but like, I mean, a hat is a 24-hour item. A sunglass is like, you know, you look pretty crazy after sundown with sunglasses on. So
I would say like, I do think that close to $200 is crazy, especially if a quarter of them fell out like with the first time we washed. We're assuming that Jody was not scrubbing and rubbing and freaking out and crying and going insane like a monkey.
Which she might have been.
Possibly. But, you know, I mean, here we are, two of us. So neither of us have ever had this done. So odds are, like, you're probably going to encounter people that are novices to this process. So you would imagine that there would be a little conversation, especially
100%.
when it's communicated that I'm new at this. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. That you would assume there would be a check-in. And afterwards, I understand, like, there's nothing to be done about the length. It's not safe for me to trim these.
Right.
So, like, we have to redo everything. Like, that just seems obvious to me. So, like, I don't fault the salon for that. But I do question why there was not a check-in. So that would have like a little bit of that would have a little lasting impact on me.
I agree. I agree. Like, I don't understand why they didn't give her instructions when she left. It seemed quite obvious throughout the whole process that she was like a novice, and she also left, you know, not happy. I don't know. It just seems, it definitely, I want to validate Jody B, because it seems like some things were not handled properly.
And I love that Jody B starts this by saying, I admit that I chose the mixed length because that's what I thought I wanted. Like, they don't start out being a victim. They don't say like, they were horrible to me. They say like, I might have mistakenly chosen the length, but I'm new at this.
Right. Yeah, totally. And like, also that she was like, I've been debating writing this for hours, but every time I walk by a mirror, I'm almost in tears. Like, I kind of like, I feel for Jody. Like, that sucks. Like, when you do something like this, you're doing it because you want to feel better about yourself and look nice and have that moment of looking in the mirror being like, hey girl, hey. And the fact that she did this and had the opposite reaction, personally, I'm super sensitive to reviews when it comes to things that are on my face. Like when I'm doing like laser on the face or like eyebrows or something like that. I think I do pay a lot of attention to the reviews with stuff like that. And I would definitely second guess whether or not I was going to go to this place after I read this review.
That's interesting. What was the spelling and grammar like?
There were a lot of little mistakes. It wasn't perfect. It was long. So she had a lot to say. But there were little, like, she said.
Did you say paid down instead of
yes.
Like,
yeah. So she said, I paid down and she began. I mean, I'm assuming she meant that she like sat down. I don't really know how that happens with autocorrect, but
I think they do lay you down though. Like,
oh, maybe I laid down. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. So yeah, so like paid instead of laid.
But Jody B has been crying. You know,
yes.
It's like they didn't have time to like go through with a magnifying glass. They were too upset.
Correct. I'm sure her eyes were swollen. I mean, they've been like poked and prodded and now cried and washed and
Not very
So-
humor. There wasn't a lot of humor here.
no, I mean, this was not a humorous review. This was, I think, like a heartfelt, emotional dump in a way of Jody B's experience. I think that I'll give it to Jody B. Like, I feel like she's talking directly to the other people that also maybe haven't had this done before and saying like, look, like you said, like, I'm new to this. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted, but I thought I did research. I thought I provided like photographic examples of what I wanted. And, you know, I was really, really disappointed, and I tried not to be, but I just am. And I think that as someone that's newer to this, like I would be listening. I'm listening to you, Jody B, for sure.
Yeah, I think I can crown this.
Okay, let's crown it.
All right. So in an effort to be fair, Chelsey and I each have our own set of 1 to 5 crown cards. We will reveal our scores simultaneously so that we will not be impacted by the other's review.
The queens are tabulating.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Total score.
Okay, interesting. Trey is holding up 3 crowns and I am holding up 4 crowns. Trey, tell us about your 3 crowns.
Okay, so I chose 3, very middle of the road, because I do actually very much believe Jody B. I appreciate that they expressed where they felt they were responsible and were, you know, very emotionally driven in this review.
Yes.
Not a lot of humor, doesn't matter, because that doesn't really affect my score that much, especially when it's very emotional and I do believe the person. Spelling was sort of...
It does impact making a review queen, so.
Correct. Spelling's all over the place. You know, I did think that this is valuable only because I've never had this done. And so if I was going to, I would take from this review that I need to really spell out, okay, y'all, I need to check in with you this entire process. I don't want to come out of here looking like a clown. Like, let's be serious. Although I am a drag queen lover. And so give me a 301, give me crazy raccoon eyelashes. I love that look. I think nothing is more chic, but that isn't what Jody wanted. And she seems to have felt, they felt that that's what they walked out with. And so for that reason, you know, the impact is, I think I would feel more armed with needing to be extremely proactive in my experience. And so for that reason, I gave it 3. What about you?
I gave it 4, which, as you know, for me is a pretty high score. So I was a little bit surprised with myself. I was also I was oscillating between 3.5 and 4, to be honest. I was just putting myself in Jody's shoes a little bit and identifying that this felt like a very authentic experience, that me as a consumer looking to possibly get lashes would certainly be impacted by Jody's experience. And I appreciate her sharing her experience with me. I took off also, you know, a crown for lack of humor and the spelling and grammar issues for sure. I thought about taking off another half crown because of what you said. Like, I don't really know this experience. So maybe if I had done this all the time, I would feel differently. Like, I'm not that knowledgeable in the subject matter. So, you know, maybe that's worth a half crown if somebody else is like, oh, she should never have said mixed lashes or whatever. I don't know. But that's what I give it 4 crowns. I believed her. I believed it was honest. And I think that I would definitely do a little bit more research before I would go to this place, and maybe even before I would do this at all. So 4 crowns.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Jody B. I hope that it all works out for you, girl.
I do. I'm sure they're out by now. When did Jody B write this review? A year ago. So I hope she's recovered.
I wish Jody B had submitted images so that I could take a look.
True. I can't remember if you can submit images on Google reviews. You can, right?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Godspeed, Jody B.
Yes. Best of luck to you.
All right, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we can get into my review of the week.
Oh my God. Can't wait.
Bye.
Bye.
Hold your crown. We'll be right back.
It's game time. All right, Chelsey, it's time for us to take a quick little spin on the fun, fast, furious, glorious, spectacular, light, fantastic Meryl-Go-Round.
I don't feel like an icon. Most of the days I feel like I can't. That's with an A.
I like the fact that this could be like a glowing, like night fantastic Meryl-Go-Round. I think that that's nice. Okay, so here's the deal. Trey and I have each picked a rotten, scathing, pithy 1-star zinger, and with 30 seconds on the clock, not a second more, we'll take turns trying to recite the zinger in as many genres as possible.
Just like our Queen Meryl, who does it all.
Before the clock runs out. Okay, so I had the first review. So Trey, you're gonna go first in this Meryl-Go-Round.
All right. So this week I have a 1-star zinger from Google Reviews.
Okay.
For the Smile Direct Club Bright On LED Accelerator Light.
Okay.
And this is from Rachel T, who says, please see a dental professional for orthodontic treatment. This needs to be monitored by a professional.
I have to agree.
Same.
All right, Trey, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm gonna
All right, let's get started.
3, 2, 1, go!
Come to war.
Please see a dental professional before orthodontic treatment. This needs to be monitored by a professional.
Game show.
Please see a dental professional for orthodontic treatment. This needs to be monitored by a professional.
Opera diva.
Please see a dental professional for orthodontic treatment. This needs to be monitored by a professional.
Superhero.
Please see a dental professional for orthodontic treatment. This needs to be monitored by a professional. Oh boy.
You know what? I'm gonna give you superhero only because
I did my arms.
I mean, you were doing it. You were doing the most. Like, you didn't short end that at all. The opera diva had a full aria at the end there. So I'm going to give that to you. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 4, Trey. Good job for a kind of long zinger.
I know. I knew that it was like pushing being pithy, but I just thought it was so funny to leave that review. Okay. Chelsey, what is your 1-star zinger for today?
That's a great question, Trey. My 1-star zinger is from Rate My Professor. It is for a economics professor at NYU. It is a one out of I think it's 5 on Rate My Professor. I think review written by Econ UA1. And it says terrible, absolutely terrible. That's it.
This is going to be fun. All right.
Terrible,
are you ready to jump on?
Yes, I am ready.
3, 2, 1, go!
Teen drama.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Magic show.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Melodrama.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
True crime documentary.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Rom-com.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Lifetime.
3, 2,
Terrible.
1.
Absolutely terrible. I don't know. They were all the same. That's how I always feel every time I do this. I'm like, I don't know the difference between Lifetime and teen drama. We did this to ourselves.
When you did the magic, you did abracadabra hands.
I did.
So I think that doesn't matter. It was stimulating me. So this is 6. You got 6, my queen.
Thank you. Wow.
6 versus 3, 4. 6 versus 4. Girl, you're the queen.
I'm the queen. Wow. So I lost everything when I was a kid to my sister. My sister she was just very competitive and she would beat me at everything. And so it's just sort of, it tickles me that I get to be a winner, because growing up was never, I just gave up. I was like, go ahead and win if it's not important to you, you know? but this is fun.
Well, you never have to give up because you're exceedingly great at this game. So congratulations.
Thanks, Trey. You're great too.
Meh.
Review that review.
Okay, we are back from that rousing game break. And now it is your turn, Trey. Where is your review from this week?
Oh boy. All right. So this week, I have a special review that was sent to me by a friend.
Okay.
That was too long to be a listener voicemail and too good to be a listener voicemail. No, I don't want to say that. That's not fair.
Too good.
Let's scratch that. All right. So this is from Yelp.
Okay.
It is a 2-star review
Okay.
for a restaurant called Splash at the Boathouse,
Okay.
which is in Burlington, Vermont.
Okay.
This is from Craig N. I hate to give a joint 2 stars, but I simply couldn't ignore what we were told by our waitstaff. I'll get to that in a moment. Backing up, my hot, blonde German wife and I decided to fly. Oops. Gotta go back. Okay.
Okay.
Backing up. My hot, blonde German wife and I decided to meet the best pilot I ever flew with. My buddy Jeff and his wife, including their chihuahua, decided to fly their seaplane up from Ticonderoga to meet us. I thought, what a better place for them to dock their $2.5 million machine, but right there. After they got a ton of attention from this flyby and flawless landing, they joined us at our table that we were seated at, right at the water on the patio. Let me tell you the positives first. Our server was super awesome, and our drinks were strong and out of this world. You know, it set the stage for a great night. We had about 3 rounds apiece. But to my astonishment, my best bud Jeff downed 5 whiskey sours in about 20 minutes as we were catching up on good old times. Just a quick side note, Jeff, all caps, hates seafood and has a reaction to it. But he doesn't care what anyone else eats. He just usually picks the steak or chicken. So it was when we were told this by our awesome wait staff, ... bless her heart. My wife wanted to have the haddock, but asked if she could have it blackened. It was to all of our utmost astonishment that we were explained that all fish are prepared in the morning and can't accommodate any special requests. Yeah. Being that my bud Jeff is also a math whiz, knowing what time it was that evening, quickly realized that our seafood sits for more time during the day than our old boss, Doug, spends time seeing who's wearing the right shoes and develops more elaborate spreadsheets than Mr. Excel himself. I digress. Immediately, Jeff's reaction to the seafood news set his stomach on a whirlwind worse than a 21-year-old drinking for the first time after eating 4 White Castle burgers. Jeff started throwing up in his mouth, not once, but twice.
Ew.
Olli, their chihuahua, started barking frantically as he knew his owner was in trouble. And he was, 4 exclamation marks. Jeff, being the stud he is, got up and pretty much did a 5th grade's first place standing long jump and hurtled over the big rope parameters in a heartbeat and flashed over to the nearest point of water to hurl all that he drank. Poor Jeff for having that kind of reaction to being told that they cannot blacken fish because it is prepared in advance in the morning. Bottom line, If you want fresh seafood, don't come here. Come here for the drinks, views, and service. That's it. By the way, since Jeff had too much to drink and was way too green, his wife flew them home, and she doesn't even have a license. Truth be told, she can outfly both Jeff and me. 17 exclamation marks.
Wow. 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 Wow.
What the actual F?
I mean, so much to unpack here with Craig N. First of all, thank you to your friend who found this review.
Mark.
I mean, thank you, Mark, for finding this. What a find. Great job. I kind of felt like I was on a scavenger hunt when this was going on, looking for the details that actually involved the restaurant. I now know that Doug is the boss of Jeff and Craig. I know that he's an Excel wizard or something and has like inspects people's shoes. I know the weirdest details now about Craig's life, and I know not a single thing about the food. Also, like, your friend was puking because he had a million whiskeys.
Thank you.
It doesn't make it makes like no sense. Like, first of all, yes, like that is gross if that's true, that they prepare the fish in advance. I can't imagine how that would be true. Is that like, do you think that that's true?
It can't be, right?
Maybe they like marinate it in advance. Like, I like Jeff. I also don't eat fish.
Me either.
Oh my God, I love that about you. Ugh, one of the many things I love about you. Anyway, I digress, as does Craig. I mean, I don't know the only information Craig gave us about this restaurant was positive, right?
I know, right. Yes.
That's what's so weird. And this is is that a listener voicemail or just you?
No, that was no.
Yeah, the only information that Craig gave us about this what's the name of the restaurant again? Oh, Splash at the Boathouse. What a splash they had. My goodness. God, like such pretentiousness. I could puke.
I mean, if I were to ever try to communicate the definition of the word douche,
yeah,
like this is like when Mark sent me this, I thought, oh my, I like want to take a shower. I feel so gross.
Agreed.
So I want to just clarify because I stumbled a little bit and then I think it was part of your confusion. So Jeff must like think that he is like Tim the Toolman Taylor or like who's that Jeff Foxworthy? Like he thinks he's very funny. So there's a few like jokes in here that just come
Jeff
off.
thinks he's funny or Craig thinks he's funny?
Sorry, Craig. Right. Craig thinks he's a comedian.
Yes, for sure.
So he says, being that my bud Jeff is also a math whiz, knowing what time it was that evening, quickly realized that their seafood sits for more time during the day than our old boss, Doug, spends time seeing who's wearing the right shoes and develops more elaborate spreadsheets than Mr. Excel himself. So Jeff and Doug used to be co-workers and Doug was the boss.
What do you, no. Jeff and Craig used to be co-workers and Doug was their boss.
Correct.
Yes.
Is that what
I got that.
Oh yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure if in your thing before that Jeff was Craig's boss, but I might have just misunderstood that.
I'm not sure. Maybe I misspoke, but yes, no, I mean, Jeff and Craig worked together and Doug was their boss. What a weird analogy.
And what does that have to do with no one's going to get like your inside joke about your old boss.
Very strange.
Also, what does the Chihuahua Olli have to do with anything?
And what does the fact that he has a hot blonde German wife have to do with anything? He didn't even bring her up again. It's like he introduced this character and then he just let her, like, what happened to the wife?
Also, why do we need to know that this like plane they flew was $2.5 million? Like,
Gross.
I'm already hate you.
I already hate you. And like, what is a perfect place to land so that everybody is watching you and gawking at your $2.5 million plane that's your friends? And didn't he start? I was confused. He started in the beginning saying something about having the flight with like the best pilot he ever had, and then he ends with the wife. Is that the same?
So he's saying that he and his hot blonde German wife, Craig,
Right.
decided to meet the best pilot he ever flew with, who is Jeff.
Oh,
So Craig and Jeff are both pilots.
Craig's a pilot?
I think, oh, maybe he isn't a pilot, but
I don't think
the
so.
best pilot he ever flew with
Yeah,
is his friend Jeff.
I think so. But then in the end, he was like, he said that Jeff's wife flew the plane without a license.
She can outfly both Jeff and me. So I do think Craig
Oh,
is
then
a
maybe
pilot.
he is a pilot. I don't know. He's gross. I feel like this is like that Billy Madison quote where they're like, I am now dumber for having listened to this. Like I really.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
am not a math whiz,
Right.
but Craig points out that they had about 3 rounds apiece,
Mhm.
but then uses the word astonishment 2 or 3 times. To his astonishment, Jeff downed 5 whiskey sours in about 20 minutes. So that doesn't add up, because if you had 3 rounds the whole time, but then he had 5, so and you were there before he was there. So what? 3 rounds, 5 whiskey. What?
Well, because apparently Jeff drinks like a fish. I think
But-
Jeff just drinks very fast.
But Jeff throws up because of the way the fish is prepared, not because he had 5 whiskey sours and was so like done that he couldn't fly the plane at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it doesn't make any sense because Craig's giving us all the details to support the case that he's fighting against. Like, it's bizarre. It's like, well, of course he threw up. He had 5 whiskey sours in like 20 minutes.
I'm also curious, how do you throw up in your mouth twice? If you throw up in your mouth once, aren't you going to then have to get it out? Like, how do you then throw up and then throw up again in your mouth?
I imagine that it was like a, and then he like just was like, let me get out of here. And also that poor body of water that's now covered in Jeff's puke. Ugh, disgusting. Okay, so also, like, first of all, I'm a little bit upset that this reviewer's name is Craig because my dad's name is Craig, and obviously, like, I love a Craig, you know. So I had a lot more high hopes for Craig N just based on name alone, you know. When I meet someone and their name is Craig, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna really like this person. So disappointed in Craig N. Also, he's all over the place. Like, he starts with like this, he calls it a joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and then I don't know. And then he bless her heart.
Well,
Remember that part?
he is from Texas.
Okay. All right. I guess that's how Texas people talk. I don't know. Let's see.
It is funny to me because it says, bottom line, if you want fresh seafood, all caps, don't come here. But they didn't even have the fish.
Yeah.
And they're telling us that it's not fresh because I think this waiter was uninformed or said something incorrectly.
It doesn't make any sense.
How do you prepare fish in the morning?
Yeah.
It would be cold. Like, how it doesn't.
I'm sure. I think that he probably, or the waiter probably meant like they prepare it in the sense of like they marinate it, right? Or I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not buying that this
No.
place would pre-cook their fish and then microwave it. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like I feel like this whole review is so lacking in value because it's just sort of Craig bragging about his friend.
So gross. Like I feel like Craig wrote this review so that on Monday he could like read it to his friends or something.
I mean, I hear that. I mean, it does feel like who brags about their friend's $2.5 million anything? I mean, that's just so odd. Anyway,
Very
the spelling and the grammar is actually pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I wonder if Craig was like, highly educated aside from being a pilot, which is its own highly education requirements.
True.
But
I feel like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no.
I was just going to say, I feel like I'm struggling as a review queen with the entertainment value because I was laughing a lot during this because it was so ridiculous and over the top and crazy. And the details were like wackadoo. And I, like I said, felt like I was on a scavenger hunt trying to figure out what are we talking about? Like, when are we talking about Splash at the Boathouse? Because like I'm missing it. And so I'm like, do I attribute that entertainment to Craig? Like, do I give Craig a nod for entertainment because I was entertained? Or is it that I was entertained because people like Craig exist? And the idea that people like Craig exist and would feel the need to write such a novella about absolute fucking nonsense. Oh, sorry. Absolute nonsense on Yelp for some person to read and not have any, like, was that why I was laughing? Because people like Craig exist? I don't know.
Maybe Craig was drunk from the 3 rounds when they wrote this.
I did think that. I did wonder about that. I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I wonder if he was like hammered and writing this on the plane ride back while the wife was like riding the plane.
I guess I just feel like, I don't know.
What do you think? Do you feel like we attribute the entertainment to Craig, or are we entertained because of the ridiculousness of it?
I think it's entertaining because it's ludicrous. Like it doesn't,
Right.
it's completely invaluable to like, there's nothing going on here, but like someone who's wacky. But like, I just instantly am turned off by like the bragging about the wife, bragging about Ticonderoga, 2.5 million, bragging about how much they drink, bragging about how he landed the plane, bragging about all, it's like, go away. Like, ew.
Bragging about this, what, emotional support chihuahua?
But it has nothing to do with the restaurant. Like, I think it was a miscommunication from the waiter that was misinterpreted. And I don't believe that Jeff threw up because of the information. I mean, maybe, but I also think he threw up because he was so loaded.
I think it's very obvious. Like
got a whiskey sap.
And 5 in how long? 20 minutes? Is that what it said?
So gross.
Disgusting.
I think I could crown this.
I think I can crown it too, but before I crown it, I just want to make sure that I point out again that Mark is an absolute review finding queen. Regardless of how I should grade Craig N. I feel like I'm so happy that this review was read and I was thoroughly entertained. And Mark, just thank you again.
Thank you, Mark.
The queens are tabulating.
Okay. Do you think you're ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Total score.
Okay, it is unanimous. 1 crown from both of the queens. I feel like this is an example of like, you know how everyone in their Yelp review is always like, if I could have given this 0 crowns, I would. I just feel like I got no information that was pertinent to the restaurant. Like if I read this, I would be entertained and think it was funny, but it wouldn't inform me whether or not I should eat here, which is why I'm probably going to Yelp in the first place.
I mean, I still have the half in my other hand because I was debating between 1 and 1.5, and I just went with 1 because it's a review of Jeff's successful life. It's not
Correct.
A review of this restaurant.
Right.
I do know that my friend Mark found this because they were going to this restaurant and it's like their most amazing annual thing. They go to this place. It's amazing.
Right.
So I just think like,
yeah, there's no way from reading this review, I would be like, hell no, I'm not going to that restaurant. Like, no. not
No.
impactful.
No. And
But
the
entertainment.
entertainment was also the skis factor. So I just gave one. Like, ugh.
Yes.
I'm sorry to splash at the Boathouse that this is attached to your company because
Agreed.
yeeks.
Agreed. Wow. Did we finish? We did. We reviewed 2 reviews.
That's it. Now it's time for my Royal Highness.
Oh my goodness. All right, my queens, we have reached the most regal portion of our show. All right, Trey, who are you inducting for?
My Royal Highness.
Okay, so my Royal Highness this week is a very, very powerful Hollywood woman. Her name is Marlene King, and she is the creator showrunner of the hit television show that ran for 7 seasons called Pretty Little Liars.
Oh.
Now, I was thoroughly obsessed with this television show. I joined it late, so I binged a lot of it. And, you know, Pretty Little Liars had some bumps. You know, Marlene King is famous for writing the film Now and Then.
Oh my God. Wow, what a queen.
And had a meeting with Freeform and was given the property Pretty Little Liars. It was their first attempt at writing a television show and lasted for 7 years. Marlene King's intention was for it to run for 5, and they were given a green light for 2 extra seasons. And the show is like a murder mystery, and it kept going. It's based on a book series. And so Marlene King was tasked with a very difficult situation of making this mystery stretch for that long. And I think that Marlene King gets a lot of not love in the world because a lot of the fandom of Pretty Little Liars was so ferocious. Is that the right word?
I think so.
I don't know. I made it up. I think still to this
Sounded
day, it's the #1 television series for live tweeting. Like
Wow.
it like no one has compared to that. But the fans were so into the show that it's really hard to please anyone at that point. And I do think that Marlene King was tasked with a very difficult job of keeping these mysteries going for so many years and tying up all the loose ends. I have some flaws that I have noticed. Regardless, I am inducting Marlene King because she really entertained so many people. She really made it cool to want to investigate and like dig, find clues, be totally fully invested in storytelling. And so for that reason, I'm honoring you, Marlene King, as my Royal Highness. Thank you for entertaining so many people, myself included.
Wow.
It might sound silly, but I love. I even have an A mug. I did a tour. Like
Wow.
I went to Hollywood and did a Warner Brothers studio lot tour just so that I could get on the Pretty Little Liars set. I sent my headshot in a
Stop.
clear envelope asking
God.
casting to see me because I love the show that much. And I signed it TR-AY because they're like, they keep getting all these texts from an unknown person
From
named
A.
A. I mean, I was that crazy, like that crazy. I love Little Liars.
I didn't know this about you. I love Now and Then though. So I totally support this nomination.
Okay, enough. What about you? Yes. Who are you inducting for my Royal Highness, Chelsey?
Okay, well, I'm inducting someone that is pretty special to both of us. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to induct Emily Cratter because she deserves it. Emily Cratter is the person that introduced Trey and I. None of this would have been possible without her. She is the biggest cheerleader of both of us. She is the first person to reach out, comment, support us whenever we have a new episode, whenever anything happens. She is the first one to be there. She's so busy and has so much going on in her life, and yet she still finds the time to compliment us and build us up and let us know that she's just like quelling over this podcast. and she's amazing. Also, Emily and I, we've been playing phone tag for like 10 years, and we do this really fun thing where we'll like pick up the phone even if we have 30 seconds to talk, just because it's been like so long since we've been playing phone tag. And I just think that says a lot about her and our friendship and our commitment to being friends. So, Emily Crowder, I hope you love this because we love you so much. And it is beyond time that we induct you as our Royal Highness. I love you, Em.
I mean, I fully concur.
Yes.
She is the female version of a mensch.
She is the biggest, the best mensch. I love it. Okay, well, we did it. We're at the end of this episode.
Listener voicemail.
Stop.
Oh my goodness. All right. Today we have a listener voicemail that is so extreme that we have to include it in our 10th
Oh my
episode.
God.
And here it is. Chelsey, get ready.
I can't wait to hear it. I'm scared.
Hi, this is JoJo calling in with a review from Joshua A. of Pieces Bar in New York, left on April 6th, 2009.
So just for context here, Pieces Bar is a gay bar
West Village.
in the West Village. Yes, you got it.
And it reads, Pieces of broken mirror. Yep, that's what was strewn everywhere as the bouncer pulled a lesbian/ex-con out of the bar in a headlock and knocked her right into a mirror. And that was really when we knew it was time to leave. Pieces, as made apparent by their logo and uninspired theme nights, is the quintessential 90s gay bar, being that it's 2009 and the Golden Girls only runs in syndicated reruns. Pieces, I would venture to say, is less nostalgic than it is tragic. Pushy patrons were so sweet as to help me drench my shirt in my own drink on a few instances, which was fine anyway, since my vodka soda may as well have been a glass of water. I think that having an aneurysm might be slightly more enjoyable than going to Pieces. At least one of the doctors at the hospital might be hot, because you're certainly not going to find anyone mildly attractive here.
No.
Scene.
Oh my
I'll
God.
do it one more time so you have a second take.
JoJo, we
love JoJo.
We love it. JoJo, first of all, you don't need a second take. That was such a good reading. That was amazing. Wow. I'm blown away. We have the best listeners.
I mean, that is a review from 2009. JoJo, have you just been sitting on this review and now you have the opportunity to share it with the world? I have been to Pieces.
Yes, me too.
And it's just, it is what it is. It's like you go there and you get a drink. And it's like, of course, that's watered down. That's like any bar you go to.
It's true. But also like high points on that review for entertainment. Like I was thoroughly taken on a journey, entertained, lots of imagery, the picture of what a lesbian being thrown
Ex-con.
into a lesbian ex-con being thrown into a mirror.
I also love Joshua, the reviewer's storytelling of the patrons were so nice to drench my shirt. Oh my God,
So
hilarious.
funny. So funny.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, JoJo, for bringing this review.
JoJo. What a queen. And also, like, I think I would crown Joshua pretty high. Should we crown Joshua?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Total score.
I'm just saying 4.
Okay. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Unanimous 4 crowns. I just took away 1 crown because, like you said, like this is like kind of a like diet. I don't know. Our expectations should be pretty low. If we go to this bar, we know why we're there. But high points on everything else. Like entertained, totally believing that this is the experience.
I took 1 crown away because I didn't really like the low blow of saying that no one that works there is hot. That's sort of like unnecessary. It doesn't have anything to do with like working. I guess sometimes gay bartenders have their very muscular, shirtless servers, but I don't know. I
don't think that's the MO at Pieces though.
No.
Yeah.
But I do think the chances of like a lesbian ex-con getting into a fight are pretty high at Pieces. And that is why we love Pieces.
Love it. And that is why we love JoJo.
JoJo, you get 5 crowns, JoJo.
JoJo gets 5 crowns without a doubt. If you don't have an agent already, we got to sign you. That was a great reading.
And JoJo was going to give us a second read because
I
JoJo's a
know.
pro. So you know what? Kudos to JoJo. We love you.
Love him. Okay.
Well, Queen, we did it. That's another round in the ear holes.
I hate when you say that.
I hate it.
We got to
too.
think of a new one. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you like what you heard, please tell a friend.
If you didn't like what you heard, please tell an enemy. If you want to be like Queen JoJo, hit up our voicemail box, y'all. It's 1-850-REVIEW-0. You can read us a review just like JoJo, or you can lodge your own complaint. Or I really would love if people would start calling in and leaving voicemails where they induct someone from their life for My Royal Highness.
I agree. I'd love that too. You can follow us if you'd like, or if you would please, at The Review Queens. And I'm at Chelsey BD, begrudgingly.
And I do want to just clarify, Chelsey spells her name Chelseey.
Correct.
And I'm at Trey Gerrald with 2 R's. Okay. Because, you know, we have weird family members, apparently. Anyway, please become a member of the Royal Court by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/reviewthatreview. You can also watch live clips from every recording session for free on YouTube. Please go subscribe and watch.
Yes. And remember, ignore the haters. You're a queen.
Gender non-specific queen.
Obviously. Bye.
Watch out for broken mirror shards everywhere.
And lesbian ex-cons.
Review That Review is an independent podcast. Certain names have been redacted or changed to protect the guilty. Executive produced by Trey Gerrald and Chelsey Donn, with editing and sound design by me, with voiceover talents by Eva Kaminsky. Our cover art was designed by LogoVora, and our theme song was written by Joe Kinosian and sung by Natalie Weiss.
Love it.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I'll come right back.
Out and in.